He vanished into the jungle with a Glock under his pillow, faked a heart attack, bribed his way out of a deportation cell, and then laughed at the FBI on Twitter from a yacht. This is John McAfee, software king, self-made outlaw, and the man who turned evasion into performance. How did one person make the world's most powerful institutions look incompetent? And what finally stopped him? Stay with me. November 11th, 2012. A neighbor is found with a bullet in his skull. By dawn, police already have a suspect, John McAfee, the millionaire who created the antivirus software used around the world. But when officers arrive to question him, he's gone. What follows is one of the most unbelievable fugitive stories of the modern era. McAfee fakes medical emergencies, escapes deportation, vanishes into jungles, survives raids, flees across borders without papers, and then evades the FBI for more than a year aboard a yacht while taunting authorities on social media. 3 countries issue warrants. Interpol joins the hunt. The United States deploys international resources to capture a single man, and every time they close in, he slips through their fingers. How does one person stay free for so long? And what happens when the chase finally ends? To understand the fugitive, you have to understand the man before the chaos. In 1987, Silicon Valley is booming. Early personal computers are spreading faster than anyone expected, and so are digital threats. The brain virus, the first IBM PC virus, jumps from machine to machine through floppy disks, causing panic among businesses. John McAfee, then a programmer at Lockheed, sees the problem and the opportunity. In his spare time, he writes a simple program to detect and remove viruses. He calls it Virus Scan. Companies want it immediately. He quits his job, sells the software out of his car, and builds McAfee Associates from nothing into a digital security empire. By 1990, half the Fortune 100 uses his antivirus software. Revenue hits $5 million a year and doubles every 6 months. McAfee becomes a tech celebrity, a man credited with taming the digital frontier. But the corporate world bores him. He hates meetings, hates order, hates structure. He's kicked out of a doctoral program for sleeping with a professor's daughter. He loses a job for showing up high. He hosts bizarre rituals and inappropriate contests at his company just to provoke people. Conformity suffocates him. So in 1993, he cashes out, selling his shares for about $100 million. He walks away from the industry he helped create. For a while, freedom looks peaceful. Yoga retreats, ultralight aircraft, spiritual books. Then the 2008 financial crash wipes out most of his fortune. His net worth drops from 9 figures to 4 million. He decides governments and institutions are parasites designed to drain the individual. In 2009, he leaves the United States for Belize, a country with no extradition, treaty for tax crimes, minimal regulation, and abundant space for a man who wants to disappear. He buys a beach villa on Ambergris Caye and a compound in the jungle. He hires armed guards and surrounds himself with young girlfriends. He builds a makeshift laboratory and claims he's developing new antibiotics. Locals whisper that the American millionaire is either insane or dangerous. His paranoia grows. He installs cameras, tripwires, and weapons everywhere. He gets into conflicts with local gangs and feuds with neighbors. Belize is not a place where an outsider can act without consequence. Tension builds. In April 2012, Belize's gang suppression unit raids his compound without showing a warrant. Officers storm the property, line the residents against a wall at gunpoint, kill one of McAfee's dogs, and tear the place apart. They find no drugs. They arrest him on a minor firearm charge and throw him into a filthy holding cell. He is released the next day, but something inside him snaps. He becomes convinced the government wants to kill him. Whether justified or not, the belief consumes him. Meanwhile, a quieter feud is brewing. His neighbor, Gregory Fole, is tired of McAfee's aggressive dogs roaming the beach barking all night and biting tourists. He complains repeatedly. He confronts McAfee directly. McAfee refuses to restrain the animals. Then, on November 9th, 4 of McAfee's dogs are poisoned. He's furious and devastated. 24 hours later, Gregory Fall is found dead in his home, executed with a single shot to the head. His phone and laptop are missing. Police immediately try to question McAfee, but he sees them coming and vanishes with his girlfriend. He hides in the sand, moves through safe houses, and slips through checkpoints. For days, the country hunts him with dogs and helicopters. Finally, he escapes Belize by bribing a boat captain for a secret nighttime crossing into Guatemala. He checks into a hotel under a fake name, feeling triumphant, but he cannot resist attention. He contacts journalists, and when they publish a photo of him, they accidentally reveal the GPS coordinates in the image metadata. Authorities are on him within hours. Arrested in Guatemala for illegal entry, he faces deportation back to Belize. Desperate, he collapses to the floor, clutching his chest, claiming heart failure. The incident halts his deportation, draws international attention, and buys time. Later, he admits the entire episode was faked. He simply held his breath and hyperventilated during blood pressure readings. The performance worked. Guatemala eventually decides the easiest solution is to deport him not to Belize, but to the United States. McAfee steps off the plane in Miami, exhausted but victorious. No charges await him there. For the moment, he is free again. Back in America, he attempts a quiet domestic life, but boredom overtakes him. He makes a bizarre viral video, mocking the antivirus software that still bears his name. He briefly runs for president. He transforms into a cryptocurrency evangelist, living on a 75-foot yacht with guns, cash, and loyalists. And during all of this, he stops paying taxes entirely. By 2019, a secret U.S. indictment accuses him of multiple counts of tax evasion. Instead of surrendering, he starts the engines and disappears into international waters. For 18 months, he evades capture, hopping between islands, posting taunting messages online, and sometimes misleading authorities with decoys and lookalikes. Even when detained in the Dominican Republic, he manages to negotiate his release and sails away grinning. But running forever takes a toll. In 2020, he settles in Spain. On October 5th, at Barcelona's airport, a simple passport scan ends the chase. Spain arrests him at the request of the United States. With extradition almost certain and federal charges carrying the possibility of spending the rest of his life in prison, his defiance turns somber. He insists publicly that he will not kill himself. He warns that if he's found dead, someone else is responsible. On June 23, 2021, Spain signs the final extradition order. Hours later, guards find McAfee hanging in his cell. The official cause is suicide. Autopsies confirm it. But his final warnings ignite countless theories. Some believe he was silenced. Others believe he escaped again. And some believe the truth is simpler. The man who lived ferociously on his own terms chose his final moment the same way. John McAfee was a pioneer, an outlaw, a manipulator, a visionary, and a showman who blurred the line between reality and performance. He once said it was better to live one day as a lion than 1,000 years as a lamb. And in the end, that's exactly what he did, no matter the cost.